James coming back. Appreciate you, James. Thank you for that. Realistic expectations for 2023.
In the terms of recruiting, that's this current recruiting class. Realistic expectation is top 10 for that class with a couple additions. I don't know who that might be. And yes, that's excluding games. That is selling them, ice cream on a cold day. Like, hey, come on down here and help change things. For one, on the field, it has to be a step forward. A really realistic expectation. I mean, depending on how the season ends and who comes back, but it's not unreasonable to expect 8 wins. It's not the number I want to say, but I mean, we're playing the drive for 6 this year, the search for 6 wins to make a bowl game, which, unless things change drastically, is a search that I think is going to be fruitless for 6 wins this year. So stepping forward, let's say that Miami wins, if it's 1 or 2 more of these 5 games. So you're talking either 4 wins or 5 wins. So either +3 or double. I mean, depending on, how the roster looks, I think that would be a reasonable expectation. But I mean, and this is not where I want to be. Obviously, I want to be, we're talking about ACC championship. We're talking about playoff. We're talking about da-da-da. But realistically, I mean, a step forward is still a step. And then hopefully you get another really solid recruiting class in 24, which is, as per usual, loaded in South Florida, and then really start pushing. But you're going to have to see proof of concept, as in young players making plays, losses that happen this year turning into wins next year, and continuing on an upward trajectory. That has to be I think that is a realistic expectation, and it has to come to fruition. It just does.
This team is such a wild card.
Oh, yeah.
They should beat Virginia and Georgia Tech even on the road. They should. Starting there. Just start.
They should.
And then,
but Georgia Tech is way more of a toss-up now than it was when Jeff Collins was their coach.
Yep.
That's not a guaranteed win, whether it was Manny Diaz or Mario Cristobal. That's not guaranteed. And Virginia is abjectly terrible, but Miami is abjectly terrible minus or plus, barely better. So you could easily go in there. I mean, I think that the only way that you beat Florida State is rivalry games. And, an unexpected result happens. You're not beating Clemson, and you're likely not going to beat Pittsburgh in the finale. Now, you could, but as I sit here right now, I see if you need out of those 5, and I'm going to run them down for you again in order: at Virginia, Florida State, at Georgia Tech, at Clemson, Pittsburgh. Those are the next 5 games. If you need 3, I see 1 in a possible. That 1 being Virginia, the possible being Georgia Tech. I don't see Miami beating any of those other teams. Not the way that Miami has been playing in wins or losses. So something has to dramatically and drastically change. So again, boom. And if you scroll down there, you're going to see those are your 5 games. You need 3 solid. I see 1 in a possible. That means the search for 6 is going to end up continuing up to next year. So, I don't, as I sit here right now on October 26th, I don't see Miami bowling. I don't see it, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, I get it. And I was going to make a comparison that doesn't work. So I was about to say, isn't Florida State right now playing at about the level that Miami was at this point last season? And isn't Miami playing at about the level that Florida State was last season? And therefore,
the inverted result would happen because the inverted paths.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Although I don't know that Miami's playing at Florida State's level of last season, because even though they were losing games, they played Clemson tough. They played a lot of teams tough. We're not seeing that necessarily every week out of Miami.
Exactly. And I mean, you got the Spider-Man looking at Spider-Man game with Texas A&M, because both of these teams, us and them are both 3-4. So you think that close loss, would be a springboard forward, because they're a very talented team and we expect them to be good, and they're very talented, but bad. So yeah, even the thing you might have looked at one time as a moral victory is really standing out as like a really glaring loss, because that's not a good team. And even though you played them close, you lost to a bad team and have lost to other random teams. So yeah, there's much to be desired. There's been much left. So we'll see.
Yeah. Miami, Texas A&M, Oklahoma. Those are some of the big major disappointments across college football. Yeah, Texas A&M. Wow. Um, they're just a collection of like talented guys out there that just, when you put it all together, doesn't amount to much.
Hey, 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 hey. If you know the end of that line, that's Texas A&M right now. Smoke weed every day. Yeah.